Cardinals. Mel Gray is deep for the Lions. Crowd of about 40,000, half filled here at the Silverdome. And it's going to be Gray at about the 8. And he stopped short of the 25-yard line. The quarterback will be Bob Galliano. He is 31 years old and has very little NFL experience. And he will have an offensive line in front of him. Lomas Brown, Eric Andelsek, Kevin Glover, Joe Malinchik, and Mike Utley, a rookie who's playing at right tackle. The rest of the offense will explain what all those SBs and XRs mean. Tony Page, Richard Johnson, Robert Clark, Stacy Mobley, and Jeff Chadwick. The lone holdover. They do not have a tight end on the squad. 1st and 10 on the 23-yard line. 4 wide receivers. In motion is Richard Johnson. Galliano being chased. Throws it up for grabs and throws it out of bounds. The Cardinals defense. Up front, Freddie Joe Nunn, Bob Clasby, Gary Hadd, and David Galloway. Ken Harvey is the only linebacker in their defensive alignment. And they will use a bunch of defensive backs. Cedric Mack and Carl Carters are the regular cornerbacks. Lonnie Young and Tim McDonald the safeties. Roland Mitchell and a rookie Jay Taylor are the extra defensive backs against the run and shoot offense. So there's Galliano. And a look at it as the defense faces them. It'll be 2nd down and 10 on the 23. Galliano nearly intercepted, and the pass was nearly caught. Cedric Mack got a hand on it. And it was Richard Johnson who nearly caught it before it went out of bounds.
Wayne Fonts is looking for a lot of production out of his quarterback today. Bob Galliano is, we talked about Hogebin being under a little bit of pressure, but this man Galliano has only thrown 30 passes in his NFL career. But he earned this job as the starting quarterback because he had the best preseason, and that's the way it should be.
He didn't think he was going to be around. He says, I was like Casper the Friendly Ghost. Thought I was going to be a player coach before long, but he outlasted them all. Of course, Rocky Peacock. 3rd down and 10. Cardinals show blitz. Here they come. Galliano on the run. Stacy Mobley makes the catch. A 30-yard gain, and the Lions are in Cardinal territory. Cedric Mack on the tackle.
We're going to see the blitz coming right up the middle. Galliano has a little bit of mobility himself along with Rodney Peete. Watch him step up into the pocket here, and he throws a perfect strike to Stacy Mobley, and a great catch. Always tough to make that first catch of the ball game. That's a big play for the Lions.
Now, what does Galliano, the quarterback, have to do in the run and shoot? What are his moves in this thing?
Well, he's got to read that defense right away. He did a nice job of seeing the blitz that time, going to the single coverage.
1st and 10 on the Cardinal 47. A 30-yard strike on 3rd down. They have yet to run the ball. The pass to Chadwick is incomplete, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
A drop pass is something that has bothered the Lions all preseason, and part of the reason is that they were trying to work 5 quarterbacks into this new offense. They had about 20 wide receivers, so the coordination between the quarterback and the wide receivers just wasn't quite there, and we're seeing a little bit of that problem with the drop passes already today.
Wayne Fonts, in his first full season, now has the cushion of a 5-year contract. He finished with 3 games last season. 2nd down and 10. First running play, Tony Page to the 45-yard line, gain of 2. That'll bring up 3rd down at about 8 yards on the play. There's Gene Stallings, who is his 4th year. And of course, there's pressure on Stallings. They were 7-4 last year, the Cardinals, before they dropped their last 5.
Well, they dropped their last 5, then they dropped their first 2 in preseason. Only won 1 game in preseason. But he's got to create that feeling for the Cardinals. Hey, we can win ball games. They've really been victimized in the preseason by losing at the very last play of the game. Something he's got to turn around quickly.
3rd down and 8. Mobley, one of the slot receivers in motion. Flooded out to the left. Galliano Spots a man. He's got Richard Johnson, and another Lion first down at the 30. Carl Carter and Lonnie Young on the stop, a gain of 16.
Galliano must like third downs, I guess, because he's doing a great job on them. With the rollout here, he wanted to throw a shorter pass to Stacy Mobley coming over the middle. Went to a secondary receiver, Richard Johnson, and he makes the catch and gets really tagged there by Cedric Mack.
Wayne, do you like the run and shoot?
I think it's a great offense if you have the personnel. Personnel wins out in this league.
First down on the 30 of the Cardinals. 12 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. This is the first possession of the game. Here's Page. Breaks a tackle and is held up at about the 25.5-yard line. Gary Had making the stop on Tony Page. He doesn't have nearly the speed that Paul Palmer, who was picked up from Kansas City,
or Barry Sanders.
Or Barry Sanders.
Obviously, he runs about a 5.140, which is very, very slow. But what Tony Page gives you is he gives you a dependable guy, a guy that's going to be there every day. He plays on all the special teams, total team ball player, and he's averaging over 7 yards a carry in the preseason.
See what you mean when you say it's a running back's offense, really. Second down and 6. Cardinals look like they're ready to come. Page, without that speed to go outside, is stopped by Bob Clasby. A loss on the play of a couple. And we'll bring up a third down. And that's been a popular down for Bob Galliano so far on this first drive.
Well, if you look at weaknesses and strengths of the Cardinal defensive football team, and I'm sure Barry Sanders is doing that just right now because he might have taken that ball outside with his great speed, but he's got a little bit of learning to do with this new offense, and the coaches have got to get comfortable. But getting back to the strengths and weaknesses of the Cardinal team, their strengths are against the run, and their weaknesses are against the pass.
Third down and 8 on the 28-yard line. So far, Galliano has clicked twice on third down pass conversions. Galliano wide open is Mobley. They've got another first down. Inside the 15. Tim McDonald. That was good for 14 yards. Where have these guys come from? Guys like Stacy Mobley and Richard Johnson, and we'll be seeing others. He was a free agent, used to play with the Rams, and one thing you can say about most of them, Dan, they're all kind of short.
And quick. And you saw after Mobley made that grab, what a great job he did of getting up the field and avoiding a couple of tackles there. That's what Stacy Mobley has, is tremendous quickness and mobility down the field.
He's replaced by Jason Phillips, a rookie out of the University of Houston, which employed the run and shoot. First and 10 on the 14 for the Lions. Here's Page. He's going to be stopped, and it was Galloway who first knocked him, and then it was Freddie Joe Nunn who put the clamps on, and a loss of about a yard or so on the play.
We talked with the Detroit coaches about their plan and where they had problems in the preseason. They didn't score a whole lot of points. They had a lot of turnovers on interceptions on the 20-yard line and in, so they felt that today's game they wanted to run the ball in this situation. They tried it that time, and the Cardinals are being very tough against the run.
You saw Eric Hipple, who was the only other quarterback activated for the Lions. The 11th player of the drive is coming up now. Second down and 12. Galliano with time. Penalty marker down, and Phillips with the reception. Jason Phillips inside the 10. Jay Taylor on the tackle, but there's a flag. And it'll go against the Lions, a holding call. The referee today is Fred Wyant. First penalty of the game and of the season.
Holding number 60, second down.
That's the rookie Mike Utley, who was a third-round pick from Washington State, and maybe the most impressive rookie that the Lions have seen thus far.
You can hardly blame him. He's going up against the Cardinals' best pass rusher in Freddie Joe Nunn.
There's Freddie Joe Nunn, who led the team in sacks last year, second actually to Reggie White of the Eagles.
Another #1 draft pick for the Cardinals. They've drafted a lot of guys on that defense. #1.
Carl Painter, number 26, who's got a lot more speed than Tony Page, is now the running back on 2nd and 22. Painter gets the call. Gets to the 19. 7-yard gain. Freddie Joe Nunn made the stop.
Now, Painter's a guy that has a little bit more speed, a little more shiftiness than a Tony Page does. And you saw with that gain there what he can do in this offense. One of the advantages that this stretch offense gives you is it not only stretches the field lengthwise, but also widthwise. That offensive line you see right there will take huge splits, bigger than normal, and give the running back a lot more lanes to choose from.
It's third down, and Galliano is a perfect 3 for 3 for 59 yards on third downs on this drive. Held the ball for more than 8 minutes. 3rd and 15 on the 19. Flag is down, and the pass by Galliano is complete. Penalty marker down. That was Robert Clark. And Roland Mitchell. And another penalty against the Lions.
Illegal motion. One of the men wasn't quite set before that snap.
2 penalties have halted this Lion drive right now, but they'll have another play coming up. Now they say they're going to decline it, apparently.
Illegal motion, number 24, decline, 4th down.
That was Jason Phillips, one of the slot receivers, so it's 4th down, and Eddie Murray will come in to try a field goal. 7:26 remaining in the first quarter. The Lions have held the ball since the opening kickoff. Jim Arnold, who punts for the team, will hold for Murray. This will be a 30-yard attempt. 20 of 21 field goals to tie an NFL record with a great percentage last year. Murray's kick is good, and the Lions are on the board. Well, Murray and Arnold have been around with all the changes here in Detroit, and it's Eddie Murray who puts the Lions up 3-0 on the first drive of the game. Fell back by Sikahema, who's on the left, and Ernie Jones to your right.
Do you see Murray there rubbing the ball against the AstroTurf? He's doing that to get a little bit of friction on the ball so he gets better contact when he hits the ball with his foot.
Murray's kick, and it's going to be Sikahema on the 1. And the Lions knock him down before he can get to the 20. That was Ray Crockett. So Gary Hogaboom, who was a backup in Dallas and with the Indianapolis Colts, leads the Cardinals. He'll have a very impressive offensive line. The wide bodies: Louis Sharp, Todd Peake, Derek Kennard, Lance Smith, and Tootie Robbins. Robert Ewald is the tight end. Stump Mitchell and Earl Farrell are in the backfield, and the wide receivers, a veteran and spectacular crew of J.T. Smith and Roy Green. Cardinals will start from their 19-yard line, and they bring Farrell, the fullback, out to the left and in motion. Stump Mitchell on first down, knocked back and thrown for a loss. That was Benny Blades, the strong safety. The defense is psyched, apparently.
You bet.
Eric Williams, Jerry Ball, and Keith Ferguson, the 3-man front. Jimmy Williams, Chris Spielman, Dennis Gibson, and Michael Kofer, the linebackers. Terry Taylor, Jerry Holmes are the corners. William White and Benny Blades, who made that stop, are the safeties. Bruce McNorton and James Griffin will be the nickelbacks and dimebacks for the Lions today. 2nd and 10. No gain on the play. Again, Farrell in motion. This time Farrell gets the call and gets a couple. Dan, what does all that motion mean? What are the Cardinals trying to accomplish?
Well, they're trying to change the strength of the Detroit defense. They'll give them a look of strong side left, and they'll shift back to strong side right and force the Lions to change their safety force that time. Great play made by Jerry Ball that time, or that might have been a big gain.
Notice on the Cardinal jerseys, that is the state of Arizona flag, which is a new adornment on the Cardinal uniform.
I'm not quite sure it goes, though, with the uniform, are you? The colors are not quite right there.
I mean, they're not red and black like the normal ones. 3rd down and 6 on the 23. Ernie Jones, another wide receiver. In the game, the pass intended for Novacek, a tight end, and it's knocked away by William White. Tell you, the Lions, Bruce McNorton also in on the play.
Good pressure from the front line of the Detroit Lions, and McNorton is all over this play. There's the pass right over the middle to Novacek, and you saw it's just a little bit behind Novacek from Hogaboom, and Norton was there to make the play. McNorton, excuse me.
He was a starter last year and now is the nickel back. So on fourth down, Rich Camarillo, won it 9 years with the Patriots and the Rams, will be kicking to Mel Gray. Gray should get a return on this. But he slips on the turf. And he's down. He'll give the Lions good field position, but he is stopped at the 44-yard line by Ken Harvey.
Type of guy that in only his second year has really become a leader of the defensive team. You can see that he's kind of hyped up out there. He made a great block on Craig Wolfley on that return that gave Farr that 7-yard gain. But Benny Blades is going to be a big star in this league.
Blades and Michael Kofer are the two weapons on defense, but now the Lions on attack, 1st and 10 on their 43. Galliano with time. Chadwick open. Close to first down yardage. Cedric Mack chases him out of bounds, but the Lions again are in Cardinal territory.
Cardinals are trying to mix their coverages, zone and man, and Chadwick was wide open that time as he just ran a simple out pattern, and the coverage was nowhere near him. This offense is going to give a defensive coordinator nightmares because it does cover the entire field. The quarterback can go anywhere at any time. There are a lot of wide receivers getting open. And
as Gene Stalling said, the toughest thing is you only have to prepare for it once. It's almost like playing the single wing. 2nd down and 1 on the 47. Here's Page. He'll have the first down. Freddie Joe Nunn brings him down from behind. And right now for an NFL Today report, let's check in with Brent Musburger in New York with an update on a new Falcon, Deion Sanders. Brent?
All right, Jack. Neon Deion starts the week playing center field for the New York Yankees. It's a home run in Seattle. Leaves in the 6th inning the next night because he had some business in Atlanta. Signed a multi-million-dollar contract. In his second punt return, he bobbles it and then turns loose that marvelous speed. 68 yards for the touchdown, 7-0, and back to Dix.
Thank you, Brent. First down on the 43-yard line of the Cardinals. Carl Painter is the running back, number 26 for the Lions. Galliano under pressure, and he's sacked back at midfield. Ken Harvey is coming off a great camp preseason. Ken Harvey is #1 draft pick. Dan, you mentioned all those #1s linebacking position. He may be the best.
Well, he's the only one playing so far today on normal defensive situations, but he really has. He's given Stallings a lot of production this year, and he was, if I can coin a phrase, second to none last year in sacks for the Cardinals.
It depends on how you spell it. If it's N-U-N-N, yes, you can use it. 2nd down and 16 following the loss. Here's Painter. Carl Painter carries and is down at the 40-yard line of the Cardinals. Eric Hill, working from LSU, and Cedric Mack making the stop on Painter. So you can wonder what it's going to be like when Barry Sanders and all his speed gets into the action.
You know, it's almost like a kickoff return every time. The offensive line appears to be like the wedge, and if the running back breaks through that wedge or the offensive line, he's got wide open field to run in. And the Lion coaches call that air. They want him to get out in that air and run around.
It's a tough play to defense because you have to worry about wide receivers, and if you get past that first line of defense, you're off to the races. 3rd down and 7 at the 40 of the Cardinals. 3-0 Detroit. And Galliano calls a timeout. You see what the problem was there?
I think the problem was that this 45-second clock was down to just 3 seconds. Galliano has a lot of shifting to do with his receivers. That time he knew he didn't have enough time to get the second guy going back the other way.
So a timeout by the Lions, their first of this first half. Third down and 7. Galliano has completed 4 of his 5 passes on third down thus far. Lost the ball, picked up by a lineman. He cannot advance it, however, and they'll have to bring it back. That was Kevin Glover, the center, as the ball broke loose of Galliano's throw. Freddie Joe Nunn made the hit and nearly had a sack on Galliano.
Call it incomplete pass, 4th down. We're going to pick this flag up.
Eddie Murray, who has accounted for the points with a 30-yard field goal, was hoping he'd get another chance. So they roll it incomplete, and Jim Arnold will come in to boot it away. Arnold, the Pro Bowl kicker, led the conference last year.
That's really a break for Galliano because he was close to getting sacked back there.
By Sikahema goes deep. What does Arnold want to do with Sikahema back there today?
Punt it high, let his men get down underneath it. Don't give Sikahema any chance of returning. He's a great one. They may even take a delay of game right here to move Arnold back 5 yards.
They have 22 seconds on the clock right now. It's a high kick. Question is it too long? And it goes into the end zone for a touchback. 40-yard kick, and Arnold did a pretty good job, but it didn't bounce his way. And so the Phoenix Cardinals will take over when we return to the Silverdome with Detroit leading 3-0. We'll try to see how his ball control offense starts from the 20-yard line. Earl Farrell, the fullback, is at the top of your picture and comes in motion. Gary Hogaboom overthrew Roy Green. Jerry Holmes was the closest to him.
He wasn't even close on that one. That's 2 passes now that Hogaboom has been off the target. You notice him checking that wrist band. He's got a little cheat sheet there with some of his plays. The coaches will just signal to him a number. He'll look down very simply, look at the play, and then give a signal to the guys in the huddle.
Well, talking to him yesterday, he seemed like a guy who was hoping things would go well. He's filling some big shoes in Neil Lomax, and he says, this is my chance. I mean, he's been with the Cowboys and with the Colts. This is his opportunity, maybe his last, who knows?
Could be.
2nd down and 10. 6 defensive backs in there for the Detroit Lions. The pitch, stumped Mitchell. Penalty marker down. Mitchell dives for a couple. And there's another flag down. Benny Blades coming in from the secondary to make the stop. It'll be a holding call against the Cardinals. Their first penalty.
You get the feeling that the Cardinals can't do anything right now.
Holding number 67, 2nd down.
They had 3 plays in their first drive, and then they had to punt. Hogaboom's have been off the mark. Speaking of Tom Tupa, he's a youngster that played very well. Very pleasant surprise for Gene Stallings in the preseason. But the heat is on Hogaboom right now. And he's got to get something going.
It's not out of the realm of possibility that he could go to Tom Tupa today. He told us yesterday, he says, if the club isn't moving, he says, I may go to Tom Tupa. That's how impressive Tom was.
The Cardinals have got to overcome the hangover of the Lomax situation.
Hogaboom faces 2nd down and 20, back to the 10. Out of the shotgun. Penalty flag. And the Lions have jumped. Looked like Keith Ferguson, but we'll check and see.
Ball start, number 67, offense.
No, it's against the Cardinals, and it was Louis Sharp who drew him offside.
This is number 67, Louis Sharp, and Ferguson is just right on it. He's off with Sharp, not with the ball, and that's what he sees, and that's a case of a little bit of lack of concentration. Or maybe Louis had too big a dinner last night, Dick.
Well, you know what? All of the offensive linemen
took about 15 guys home to dinner
at Louis Sharp's house. He's from Detroit. Had a couple of turkeys.
Those fellas can eat.
They don't want to play like turkeys. Hogeboom in the end zone. Farrell. And he was trying to protect from an interception from Terry Taylor after he couldn't hold on to the ball. Good pressure by the Lions. Their defense has been a good story here. And there's a newcomer at cornerback, Terry Taylor, who was acquired from Seattle.
Yeah, what Terry Taylor gives the Lions is a legitimate bump and run cornerback. He's got that type of ability, something that Wayne Fontes wants in his defense, because he wants his defense to be more aggressive. What's that mean? That means they're going to get after the quarterback with more blitzes. So when you blitz, you got to play man-to-man on the outside, preferably bump and run man-to-man.
Third down and 25 from the 5. Hogeboom completes his first pass. J.T. Smith to the 20, the original line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 4th down. So Gary Hogeboom has had to face, as he talks with Louis Sharp, who was penalized twice in that sequence, what has looked to us a vastly improved Detroit defense so far in this quarter, Dave.
They really are playing with a lot more emotion, and you know, maybe this restore the roar thing, I'm sure Fontes told his ball players, let's not disappoint this opening day crowd, however small it may be.
Rich Camarillo will kick. Mel Gray is back. Good kick by Camarillo. Nice and high. Gray at the 25 gets hit hard. Flags fly. He's down at the 37-yard line by Eric Hill. A 54-yard kick by Camarillo. Fred Wyant.
Number 55, illegal block in the back. First down.
That was Michael Kofer, and so it'll be a first down, and we'll set it back. Well, we have the finals of the U.S. Open Tennis Championship coming up later today. Yvonne Lendl and Boris Becker. Who do you like in that?
I like Yvonne Lendl, not only because he's the #1 seed, but he has a way of rising to the occasion at this arena here at back in New York. And Becker, though, you know, this may be his turn. He played awfully well at Wimbledon.
Well, he wishes all of them were grass, doesn't he?
Oh, he's awesome.
Lendl against Becker. Should be a great one coming up later today on CBS. First and 10 on the 27 for the Lions with 29 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Lions lead 3-0. 3 seconds on the clock. And they don't get it off in time. Will be a delay of the game penalty against Detroit. Looked like Galliano.
Well, there's really no excuse for that.
Yeah. Offense, 5 yards, first down.
There are 2 30-second clocks in this arena, one at each end. And the quarterback's main job as he breaks that huddle is to find out how much time he's got to get the ball off. And I think the Galliano that time just wasn't quite sure, didn't look at that clock. That's the time left in the first quarter. The 30-second clocks are, they're not in as good a position as that clock is. They're kind of off to the corner.
He waited a long time, though, at the line, and it looked like everything was in still motion, including Richard Johnson, who had gone in motion. So it's first and 15. Tony Page is the running back. Galliano. Home run, he's got some room. Roland Mitchell chases him out of bounds, just 2 yards shy of a first down. Alert quarterbacking by Galliano, and one of the reasons he's in there is because he has run this run and shoot offense before.
And he takes care of the ball. He will not throw the ball where there's no chance of getting the completion. He has run it before with the Denver Gold when Mouse Davis was the head coach there. And one of the reasons, you know, you talked about he thought he was going to be a player coach when he came to training camp. Well, before this last cut, he told me that he felt that he didn't know if he was going to make the team. And now he turns out to be the starter on opening day.
And with the lead right now, 3-0. 19 seconds to go in the quarter. Second down and 2. The Lion 35. On the draw, Page. Tony Page. First down up to the 40-yard line. Eric Hill making the tackle, and that may be the last play of this first quarter. So the Lion fans, 40,000 strong here, has seen the Lions take the lead, and their defense has been impressive. And that is the end of the first quarter here in Pontiac with the score: the Detroit Lions 3 and the Phoenix Cardinals 0. Story has been so far, with all the hoopla about the Detroit offense, and we'll get into that a little more, has been the Lions defense.
Or the lack of the Phoenix offense. They are really out of sync so far in this first half.
I knew an offensive guy like you would look at it that way. 1st and 10 on the 40 of the Lions. Galliano going deep to Troy Johnson. And it's nearly intercepted. Roland Mitchell had the best shot at it. What is the stretch offense that the Detroit Lions, the run and shoot, call it what you will?
Well, we're going to see XR, WR, YR, ZR. Those are all receivers. Now, the SB is the tailback. Why they call him an SB? Well, the S stands for super. That's the S back there. Well, with Tony Page in there, it maybe stand for the slow back because he only runs a 5-1. But when they get Sanders, well, then it really does become the S-back. But the stretch offense stretches out the entire defense, both width of the field and length of the field.
And even if you're a slow back, you can get some good yardage, as we've seen thus far. 2nd down and 10. Galliano on the run. Penalty marker down. The pass to Chadwick is incomplete. And a flag down at the line of scrimmage. We have had a rash of penalties in this one, and it'll be holding against Detroit.
And we're seeing these holding penalties being called by the line judge on each side of the field instead of the umpire, and that's because the guys on the
Holding, number 75, 1st down.
That's because of the guys on the exterior of the line, like Lomas Brown, the left tackle. We're going to check him out right now. He's working against Ken Harvey. Harvey, nice spin move there, and Lomas has him with both hands.
By the way, David Galloway has gone to the dressing room, an x-ray of his hand. He has been injury prone. There he is right now. They've already had the x-rays. And Jim Waller, a number 4 round pick out of UCLA, number 66, has replaced him. 2nd down and 20. Carl Painter now in the backfield. And the Cardinals read that well. They were looking for that kind of a delay, and Painter is stopped at the 32, gain of a couple by Eric Hill. There's Barry Sanders still waiting to get his chance, and there's Dave Levy.
Dave is a former coach with me back in San Diego, where he was our offensive coordinator and also running back coach. He worked out with Barry Sanders before the game this morning on the big bag, teaching him how to block, because he's not sure that Barry Sanders even knows how to block. This is his first time in a Detroit Lion uniform, also his first time in pads.
So he hasn't blocked, and of course he hasn't taken a hit. I hope he can protect the ball. 3rd down and 17. Galliano. Little high for Chadwick, who was hit immediately by the rookie Jay Taylor. And that'll bring up 4th down. It's the left hand, by the way, on David Galloway that they x-rayed.
You would think an injury to one of only their two defensive ends would hurt the Cardinals, but what they have is they have the ability to move Ken Harvey to a defensive end spot, and they're really playing those ends today as they were outside linebackers.
Jim Arnold will kick, and Bai Sikahema goes deep for the Cardinals. We also have seen Eric Hill, their number 1 draft pick out of LSU, come in as the 2nd linebacker with Galloway out of there. Booming punt by Arnold. A great one. Sikahema back to the 10. Can't break one, and is stopped at the 21-yard line by Victor Jones. A 56-yard kick by Arnold. And so early here in the 2nd quarter, we'll be back. Detroit still leading. 12.5 minutes to under 4. It's 3-0 in favor of Detroit with 13:44 to go in the 2nd quarter. And Dan, you wonder what the Cardinals wanted to play a ball control game, but basically when you don't have the ball, you can't control anything.
Not only that, their field position has been terrible, and we see them again. They're starting around their 20-yard line. So the 2 things that run and shoot has done so far is it's kept the Cardinal offense off the field, and it's forced bad field position.
One thing it has done too, I think the fans love it. I mean, I think already the fans are excited about it.
No doubt about that. There's a real electricity in this park.
1st and 10 at the 21 for the Cardinals. Stump Mitchell. Mitchell for a couple. He underwent shoulder surgery in the offseason. Giving it a go. New Orleans leading Dallas in the second quarter as we bring you up to date on the CBS Sports Wire with scores.
And surgeries when you're 30 years old is a lot different than when you're 20, obviously. You get a little bit older, it takes longer to rehabilitate, but Mitchell has rehabilitated himself. Had a good game last week against the Chargers in the final preseason game. I expect big things from him again this year.
Jim Schaffner, the offensive coordinator. Second down and 7. Earl Farrell. It'll be third down and about 5 as Jerry Ball, outstanding nose tackle, making the stop.
Well, Earl Farrell is one of the best, if not the best, pure fullbacks in all of football. Big guy, about 250 pounds, and he really has the power to make the yardage behind that huge offensive line, the wide bodies. When you add his 250 to some of those 300-pounders up front, it's quite a push.
We talked to him yesterday. Looked like an offensive lineman coming into the room.
Well, a little bit shorter. He's only about 6 feet tall. Those offensive linemen are huge, though. When they walked in the room shrank.
Third down and 5, and this is known as trips. They have 3 wide receivers to the right. Third and 5 at the 26. Out of the shotgun. Oglebu completes to Smith. That'll be a first down for the Cardinals to the 37-yard line. J.T. Smith stopped by Jerry Holmes.
That's really a good feeling for the quarterback. This is his best pass of the day so far. He really got it on a line out there to J.T. Good job of looking to the strong side where they had those 3 wide receivers. Came back and found that Smith had single coverage against Jerry Holmes, and Oglebu threw his first strike of the day.
Last 3 years, J.T. Smith has caught more passes than any other wide receiver in the NFL. Maybe more catches than any player in the league. First down at the 37. Oglebu. Great catch by Smith. And a few extra yards to boot. And J.T. Smith has the Cardinals in Lion territory. A 24-yard gain and the deepest penetration for Phoenix. Benny Blades on the tackle.
This is really a fine throw. Although it was high, it's the only place it could have been thrown to be complete, because you see the coverage of Spielman right there, and a great grab, and not very good tackling though there by William White, who's starting his first game of the year for the Lions.
3 catches, 50 yards for J.T. Smith, picking up where he left off. First down, Cardinals on the Lion 39. Oglebu. Farrell out of the backfield, and a good stop by Blades.
Cardinals are getting their rhythm now. Oglebu has been on the target now the last 3 times, and they have run the ball effectively. I'm sure they got a stern talking to on the sidelines from Gene Stallings, and this is not a good sign for the Cardinal fans at all. Earl Farrell looks like he's got a bit of an ankle or a knee there on that left side.
Ron Wolfley will take his place, number 24. As Farrell is shaken up and leaves the game. Wolfley did not play at all in preseason, had a sprained arch. Special teams performer. There he goes in motion. It'll be second down and 5 on the 34-yard line. Stump Mitchell is stopped as the Lions. Jerry Ball again with terrific play. No gain will bring up third down and 5.
Jerry Ball will make some terrific plays for you from that nose guard position. Former 49er nose guard, center Randy Cross, now working with us at CBS, he told me that after working with Michael Carter every day in practice, the 49ers great nose guard, that he feels that Jerry Ball is second to Carter, if not his equal.
Wayne Font said yesterday, he says maybe the quickest nose tackle we have seen.
For 300 pounds, very, very quick.
Curtis Green, number 62, comes in for the Lions defense. Third down and 5. They haven't thrown to Roy Green yet. He's in motion. And the pass to Novacek. He holds on. But I think he's short of a first down by about a yard. And another fine play by William White. And that Lions secondary, vulnerable last year, has come on strong. Now they're talking about where the ball is spotted, and that'll mean everything here.
It's going to be just a little bit short, though. Bring up the fourth down. But the Cardinals took a page out of the Lions playbook that time, putting a couple guys in motion, then coming back to the 3 receiver side and running a little bit of a pick play there to get Novacek open. The problem with though was that they needed about 6 yards. They came up with 5.5.
They're going to go for it on 4th down. 4th and 1. Tony Jordan and Ron Wolfley are in there. Jordan has been their short yardage back. He can leap the line. 4th and 1. There he goes, and he may have it. Jordan in his 2nd year has the 1st down for the Cardinals.
Cardinals are real unique with their offense in short yardage and goal line. You saw how quickly they got that play off. Well, Stallings told us yesterday that he doesn't want the defense to be sitting there, getting dug in, getting good traction, and getting good recognition of what the offense might do. Boy, Hogeboom came up that time, snapped the ball almost as soon as he got under center.
But I think you made a good point, and that is that for the first time in the game, we have seen the Phoenix offense in sync. Hogeboom completed 5 consecutive passes, and they still have it. 1st down on the Lion 28. Hogeboom wide open is Awald. Robert Awald is knocked out of bounds at the 5-yard line by Terry Taylor. Wide open was Awald, and a 24-yard gain to one of the best receiving tight ends in the league.
Well, the Lions are in a blitz situation here, and Hogeboom reads it, and he has a piece of candy here. That's Benny Blades coming on the blitz, and there's nobody for Awald. My question, though, is if Awald has healed ribs and is feeling good about himself, wouldn't he cut that back inside and try to get in the end zone, maybe lower his shoulder? I have to believe that those ribs are giving him some problems.
Wearing a flak jacket underneath. 1st and goal at the 4. Cardinals trailing 3-0, looking to go ahead. Wolfley, that was not a good handoff by Hogeboom as Wolfley was ahead of him. And a loss on the play. Jimmy Williams on the stop.
Jimmy Williams gets great penetration, number 59 on this side of the screen here. And this is a bad handoff, almost a fumble. And if Williams had been there an instant sooner, it would have been a fumble. But that's the problem you have when you bring in the 2nd string fullback, Wolfley, for the 1st string guy, Earl Farrell.
Farrell went out with an injured leg or ankle. There is Williams, who had the starting role last year, got hurt. Jameson replaced him, and now George Jameson is hurt. 2nd and goal at the 5. Novacek in, 2 tight ends for the Cardinals on the 5. Hogeboom. And Green was not looking. Covering on the play for the Lions is James Griffin, the dime back, and that'll bring up 3rd and goal.
Well, the guy in Hogeboom's face that time was Benny Blades. He was burned earlier when he blitzed and nobody covered Awald. This time they did get the coverage. James Griffin came over on Roy Green, and that's why we had that incompletion. Good pressure, though, from Benny Blades.
The Lions' defense inside the 20 were next to last in the league last year. They allowed 42 scores in 47 possessions. And now the Cardinals have a 3rd and goal at the Lion 5. Stump Mitchell. And it's Benny Blades again. I think the Lions are going to improve on that statistic this year, Dan.
Well, they're going to keep him from getting a touchdown this time. He's going to come from the outside now, again on a blitz. Here he is, number 36. Nobody there to block him. And he just dropped Stump Mitchell for a huge loss. And now they're restoring the roar, Benny Blades style.
A 29-yard field goal attempt. Al Del Greco with Hogeboom holding will try to tie it up for the Phoenix Cardinals. And the kick is good, but the Lions have to feel good about themselves. They stopped the Cardinals on 1st and goal at the 4, but Del Greco ties it up. 3-3 here in the 2nd quarter. Lions have not returned a kickoff for a touchdown in 7 years, and that's why they got Gray, formerly of the Saints. Here he is on the 2. Gray squeezes his way out to the 23-yard line where Ilya Jaraschuk makes the stop. And on the bench, Earl Farrell being tended to.
And even more important than the tape job he's getting is the expression on his face. He knows he's in pain there, and he's not quite sure if all that tape they're laying on that ankle is going to do the job. He also has a blue knee brace on his left knee, so he has had some problems with that left side.
Awald caught a 24-yard pass that set the Cardinals up, but they did not score the touchdown. They held the ball for 13 plays, but managed to get a field goal out of it to tie it up. Cardinals had the ball for only 6 plays in the first quarter. They've doubled that already here in the second. David Galloway back in there for the Cardinals. Number 65 at defensive end. Galliano on first down. Dropped by Richard Johnson. He was wide open near midfield.
This has been a problem for the Lions all year long. Drop passes. We've already seen a couple so far today. Oh, Wayne Fonts is feeling it. That was a great throw by Galliano. It looked like it was behind the receiver, but when he's throwing in between the zones like that, sometimes that will happen. The receiver has got to make that grab. That would have been a big play for the Lions.
And if they keep dropping those passes, Galliano's going to go back to firefighting school where he started courses.
Looking for a job any way he can.
He almost became a firefighter now.
He may have a fire to put out here today.
Right. He's missed 4 in a row now. Not his fault, though, the last one, as we saw. 2nd and 10. Galliano getting away from pressure, can't. He's caught from behind, and it was Galloway. Galloway, who left the game early to have his left hand x-rayed, comes back in and gets a sack for the Cardinals.
Well, those big guys don't need hands anyway. They get so much tape wrapped around their fingers and everything that you know, they're more like clubs than anything. And when you're a big guy like Galloway coming in on a little scrawny little quarterback, all you have to do is blow on them. Sometimes they go down.
Galloway had been injured the last 2 seasons, looking forward to an injury-free year this season, and now in the first game.
He thought he got over the hump in the preseason, but now first half of the first game he gets nicked.
3rd and 9 at the 25 of the Lions. In trouble again. And down, and the penalty marker is down. All of a sudden, the rookie Mike Utley jumped on Bob Clasby. Freddie Joe Nunn was the guy who got to Galliano. And the penalty flag is down.
And meanwhile, back at the farm, Utley and Clasby were going at it pretty good there. But let he who is out without sin throw the first stone.
I read that somewhere.
Yeah. Take a look at it, try to figure it. Here's Clasby just hanging around, and Malinchik comes in and cuts him down. There's where the fight starts. And then Utley jumps on the back of Clasby, but it's Malinchik who came, and I'd have to consider that a bit of a cheap shot. There's a referee who, very brave soul, jumping in the pile there with all kinds of big guys. That's Ron Bochin, the umpire today.
Fred Wyatt sorting it out for us. Jerry Bergman, the head linesman.
This is going to be an interesting call because we're not quite sure if the referee saw the shot from Malinchik onto Clasby's knee there.
The sack was an 11-yard loss.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 74. He is rejected from the game.
Wow. And they have thrown out Joe Malinchik, and Wayne Fonts is furious. He's on the field and is told by Fred Wyatt, step back on the white line.
I have never seen that before. An ejection in a football game. I don't think I've seen one in many, many years. But for an illegal block like that, that tells me the NFL is trying to crack down against cheap shots and injuries like that could have caused. But I'm not sure that that warrants being kicked out of the entire game, though. Amazing call.
Normally, when they have an out-and-out fight with punches thrown, then they may do that. And even then they don't. Let's see.
Watch number 74 circle all the way around here. He had been blocking on Clasby originally, but now he's coming in and going right for the knee. Wow.
So Malinchik is out of the game. The starting right guard for the Lions is gone. He is mad. Furious as well, as we saw, was Wayne Fonts, and it is 4th down, and Jim Arnold will have to kick from the end zone. And Ernie Jones is back deep for the Cardinals. Cardinals are looking at good field position in a 3-3 game. Another great kick from Arnold. Jones on his 30. Jim Arnold showing that Pro Bowl form, and Jones is down at the 42-yard line by William White. A 64-yard kick, but Joe Malinchik is seething inside.
Come on, let's get it right this time. The word is quality. It means trying harder, going that extra mile. Let's do it. MetLife, MetLife, service with a smile. MetLife, MetLife, go that extra mile. Q-U-A-T-I-L-Y. What's that spell? Quadilly, Quadilly, yeah! Quality, quality. Get Met, it pays.
Joe Malinchik has been ejected, starting right guard for the Lions. And that has caused a furor here in Michigan. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals on the 42. Screen pass to J.T. Smith, and he may have picked up a 1st down. Into Lion territory at the 48, Terry Taylor made the stop.
You know, Dick, in baseball, which I know you're very familiar, when you get tossed out of the ball game, you got to go to the showers, right? Well, here's Malinchik still on the sidelines, and I'm not sure what the procedure is. It's been so long since I've seen anybody kicked out of a ball game, but I would think that they'd have to, turn the water on for him.
Isn't it unusual that someone gets kicked out in a game that is relatively free of temper flare-ups?
Well, that was a very unusual call.
1st down at the 47 of the Lions. Ron Wolfley, the fullback, in motion. Pitch to Snub Mitchell, going outside. Penalty flag is down, and Mitchell is ridden out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Let's see if we have a holding penalty against the Cardinals.
Hold in, number 67. What's that?
Well, you heard the call by Fred Wyand, and you heard the editorial comment by Louis Sharp.
Yeah, and Louis just letting his family know he's got about 80 tickets or so today for the folks here in Detroit that he really wasn't holding. Come on, Mom, you got to believe me, ain't you?
That's the 3rd time that he's been hit with a penalty. By the way, the NFL rule is that if you're ejected from the game, you have to leave the premises, and so the NFL is going to make sure that Mr. Malinchik heads for the dressing room.
I wouldn't want to be the guy that has to escort him off the field, though, would you?
Be a former lineman, I would think. 1st down and 20, Cardinals on their 43. 3:20 to go in the 1st half. Play fake. Hogaboom to Green. Nearly made the catch. He was double covered by Holmes and White. And that's the 1st time they've gone Roy Green's way today.
Lions really need a big game out of Jerry Holmes. Watch this play as he reaches right over the top, avoids any contact there with Roy Green, and breaks up the pass.
In all fairness to Roy Green, as you look at Holmes, is that the plan for Wayne Fonts is to double cover Roy Green. He is perhaps the most explosive threat that the Cardinals have in their offensive artillery.
And on the other side of that coin, Dick, is the fact that J.T. Smith, although a great possession wide receiver, doesn't have the speed to get deep. Roy Green still possesses some of that jet stream.
Smith has caught 4 passes for 60 yards already. Awald with a fine catch gets back to the original line of scrimmage, the 48 of the Lions, where he is stopped by Chris Spielman and Michael Kofer. We haven't mentioned Michael Kofer's name much today, as the Cardinals have kept that great rushing linebacker at bay.
Well, he made the Pro Bowl last year. He is an outstanding linebacker, great physical specimen, tremendous size. He's got the Darth Vader look. And yesterday, can you believe a guy like that is trying to sell me real estate? That's his hobby. He buys homes and sells them. I guess that's what you do when your hobby's real estate, huh?
Fixes them up.
He'd be a great landlord, wouldn't he?
Gave us his business card on his way out. 3rd and 9 at the 47. Pressure on Hogaboom, batted in the air by Blades. Benny Blades is having an all-pro kind of first half today.
Well, you know, he was the first-round pick last year for these Lions, and he is really turned out some great plays for us today. Horatio Benedict Blades.
And he said his mother hated that name. What happened?
His father named him. I think his mother has got something there. I mean, Horatio Benedict. At least they shortened it to Benny.
It'll be 4th down, and Rich Camarillo will kick it. Lions were trying to block. We have a marker down, and we may have running into the kicker flag. The ball is stopped at the 1 by the Cardinals. Camarillo went down, and we're going to have a roughing or running into the kicker call against the Detroit Lions. They were coming in to get a piece of it. Make no mistake about it.
Now this really hurts too, because the Lions had done a good job of gaining the momentum back for their football team. They were going to give the Silver Stretch the ball with 2 minutes to go.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, number 21, 15, first down.
Terry Taylor,
coming from the right side of the screen is Terry Taylor, and this is roughing the kicker. This is the big one, 15 yards, and we'll take a look right here. Great effort trying to lay out for that ball, but he got all of Camarillo.
That's the 6th penalty for over 50 yards by the Lions today, and it gives the Cardinals a new life.
It really does. It sets them up down there in the 32-yard line, and they got 2 minutes now to get at least 3 points on the board.
2:08 exactly remaining in the first half. Hogaboom. Great catch. Roy Green with his first of the day inside the 15, and that was a thread the needle throw by Hogaboom, a gain of 19. Terry Taylor made the stop, and the 2-minute warning is upon us here at the Silverdome, with the Cardinals threatening in a tie game. Hogaboom has completed 8 of 11 for those 100+ yards, in Detroit with minus passing yardage, so the Cardinals are really getting their pass rush going here in the second quarter.
The one thing that the Lions defensive coaches were afraid about is that Hogaboom's a streaky passer. He's on a hot streak now.
Well, their quality receivers are coming into their own. The Lions' inexperienced wideouts have dropped a couple. 1st and 10 on the 13 on the draw. Ron Wolfley is tackled from behind by Benny Blades. Our 2-minute warning has gone by. The Lions have 2 timeouts left. Cardinals have all 3 of theirs.
And one thing the Cardinals want to do is use up as much of this clock as possible. They do have 3 timeouts remaining, so they're in great shape here. This is absolutely the best situation a quarterback or an offense could be in.
Kind of an unusual game. Cardinals have always been a prolific offensive team, and the Lions, with the Silver Stretch, trying to get something going. J.T. Smith, with his 5th catch of the game, is down at the 6-yard line. Will bring up 3rd down. The clock continues to run, close to a minute to go. Dennis Gibson on the stop.
You know, I get the feeling that the Cardinals offense, they're a very proud group. They've got a number of outstanding veteran football players on their team, a big, strong offensive line. They run a traditional NFL passing offense, and one of the best in the game. Maybe they're trying to send a message across the field to this Silver Stretch Ball Club that, hey, this is how you do it in the NFL.
And they're making Hogaboom do it. They're winning around him necessarily. They're not making him carry it all himself. 3rd and 3 on the 6. Ernie Jones and Novacek have checked in for the Cardinals. Out of the shotgun. Hogaboom's pass out of the end zone intended for Novacek. And he was covered back there by William White, the free safety, and doing a good job at it.
This is one of the most difficult areas for a quarterback, especially a new quarterback working with a new set of receivers, the touch pass, where you've got to really just dunk it in over the top of a defender in a small field like that. That time Hogaboom just let it go a little bit too far for the 6'5 Novacek.
This will be a 23-yard attempt. Hogaboom holding for Al Del Greco, who kicked a 29-yarder earlier here in the second quarter. That kick is good, and the Cardinals lead for the first time. So the roughing the kicker penalty gave Phoenix new life, and they took advantage of it for a 6-3 lead. It is a defensive battle here in the first half. At Pontiac, the Phoenix Cardinals lead the Detroit Lions 6-3 with 33 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And on the sidelines, Joe Malinchik, who has been ejected from the game, is still on the sidelines. The rule is that he has to be off the field, but there he is.
But the guy on the sidelines that I'm looking at is Barry Sanders. Coaches for the Detroit Lions told us that the game is close. We might see Sanders today. Well, he can't get much closer than 6-3.
There's Sanders, itching to get his first NFL action after signing the other day. $9 million man. Mel Gray will be kicking off. Mel Gray is deep for the Lions. And it's headed over to the side. Jerry Woods, rookie from Northern Michigan, returns it to the 22, and a penalty marker is down with 26 seconds to go.
Illegal block in the back, number 90, 10 yards, first down.
Rookie Keith Karpinski of Penn State. Coming up at halftime, the NFL Today, Brent Nerve will have scores and highlights. It's bigger than the office pool, and it's legal. Pat O'Brien has a story of Oregon's new football lottery that's coming up at halftime on the NFL Today. And an Oregon native and a web foot in his own right is Mr. Francis.
Well, no comment on the lottery, but I will give you a score from the Great Northwest. University of Oregon 35, the University of California 19. Go Ducks.
Okay. Good. Looking at it from the end zone, Carl Painter is the running back. 1st and 10 from the 12. On the delay, Painter. Tim McDonald missed it, and Painter got out to the 16-yard line. Clock is running. You knew you weren't going to see Barry Sanders that deep in Lion territory, and they're just going to let it run out.
You bet. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Sanders on the second half. I don't think the Lions can beat the Cardinals without him.
There's the gun, and that is the end of the first half. So I don't know about the silver stretch, but that Lion defense showed us something, and the Cardinals are getting synced up. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Cardinals 6 and the Lions 3.